And there's news just coming in. Film actor Kangana Ranaut has reacted on the Hrithik Roshan controversy. Kangana Ranaut has said, "Threats, blackmail, don't scare me. I am not ashamed of my affairs." Kangana Ranaut goes on to say, "I will apologize if defamation is proven." We have Kangana Ranaut's statement now. She says it's a legal matter. Only on record statement can be addressed and not gossip. So here's my final word. If the other party who sued me for defamation and asked for a public apology can prove defamation, I promise to apologize publicly. I request the other party to respond to the legal matter which they've started and not turn this defamation suit into a media trial and judgment. I want to bring in India Today's Shilpa Ratnam for more on this. Shilpa, take us through the details of this spat and this latest turn of events that the statement, Kangana Ranaut's just issued a statement.
Gaurav, so Kangana's team has sent a notice, an intimation notice to the Commissioner of Police asking Hrithik Roshan to stop circulating intimate pictures and emails that Kangana had sent to him. Of course, they've also said that they've heard that he's been doing this, and even if he hasn't, they want the Commissioner to prevent him from being able to do so. Now, Hrithik's lawyer has reacted, saying, denying all these allegations, and says his client is completely innocent and has not been circulating any questionable pictures. Kangana, on her part, has also mentioned that while her legal team has taken the legal route out, and they have also reserved their right to file an FIR, she's also living up to her brand of being fierce, fearless and unapologetic. Without mincing words, she says, if the other party who sued me for defamation and asked for public apology can prove defamation, I promise to apologize publicly. Now, this is the crux of the matter. Hrithik Roshan wants Kangana Ranaut to apologize publicly and say, basically, accept the fact that they weren't dating. And these are Hrithik's demands, whereas Kangana Ranaut says, how can she deny a relationship that existed?
Okay.
So this is the crux of the matter, and now it's almost come to a Mexican standoff with neither side willing to back down.
Okay, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. So what's this controversy all about, and what's Kangana Ranaut saying at this stage? She's saying, I am not ashamed of anything, not my past, not my affairs, not my body, and most definitely not my desire. So slut shaming won't work either. If they want an apology, they will have to come to the point. Beating about the bush doesn't help. What's this entire controversy all about? Let's find out.
Latest complaint filed by Kangana with the Mumbai Police Commissioner. She's accused Hrithik of circulating intimate pictures and private emails to third parties. Apart from circulating her private photos, Kangana has charged Hrithik with willfully outraging her modesty, imputing unchastity to her and damaging her reputation.
As a preventive measure, I have written to the police department through the Commissioner of Police under section 149 and 150 of Criminal Procedure Code, asking him to intervene and to interpose to prevent these cognizable offences, and also to make arrest if necessary under section 151 of CRPC.
The legal fight between the two actors began with Kangana referring to Hrithik as a silly ex in January. The matter quickly snowballed, with Hrithik issuing a legal notice asking for Kangana to apologize. But Kangana retorted with a fierce reply, saying she's not some dim-witted teenager who has been smitten. But it only got uglier after that, with Hrithik even saying that Kangana suffered from Asperger's syndrome and claiming that Kangana was emailing a fake account and hence thought they had an affair. So far, Hrithik and Kangana have issued fierce rebuttals to each other's notices. With the latest complaint, expect this Bollywood's dirty picture to get even dirtier.
The already messy legal battle between Hrithik Roshan and Kangana Ranaut has gotten even uglier with a sensational charge that Hrithik is outraging Kangana's modesty. While Kangana's lawyer maintains that they've only always been on the defensive, Roshan's side is showing no signs of backing down and this legal battle looks like it will be fought till the end. This off-screen clash of the Bollywood titans has now turned into a Mexican standoff of sorts. In Mumbai, this is Shilpa Ratnam.
So those close to Hrithik Roshan say he hasn't had an affair with Kangana Ranaut at all. But that's not exactly what Kangana Ranaut's people are saying. Joining me now on the broadcast is Rizwan Siddiqui. Rizwan Siddiqui represents Kangana Ranaut. Also with me is Reena Dhaka. She's a famous fashion designer, knows Bollywood inside out. Rizwan Siddiqui, I want to come to you first. You've alleged that Hrithik Roshan is circulating Kangana Ranaut's emails and private pictures. Is there evidence or is this hearsay, sir?
See, my client has been receiving calls from media persons. She received a lot of calls yesterday, and as a matter of fact, these media people, these journalists, they were asking for my client for her side of the story, and they also claimed to have seen those pictures and those emails. And I was not talking about circulation, I was talking about demonstration and or circulation, because you know, the fact can only be determined by the police, you know, once they investigate into the matter. So let me put it straight. The fact that since a lot of journalists have claimed that they have seen it, and we have evidence on record, we can bring that out if required, not at this stage. We have evidence to say to show that yes, Hrithik has been doing these acts, and that is why that particular notice was sent.
Okay, Reena, in February, Hrithik Roshan sent Kangana Ranaut a notice for calling him a silly ex. Is this all that's there to this, or is there more to it than meets the eye? There's something bigger.
Frankly, I don't know the insides of their life. I think what happens between two people, only they know. But I've met Hrithik on occasions, and I found him to be a very reasonable, simple, easy to get along kind of a person. Nothing of the sort I have been reading about him in the past few days. If I know I'm just an outsider, but giving my viewpoint, I would just say is put it behind. I mean, even if it has happened, meet up, or through common friends, resolve it and stop washing your dirty linen in public, and don't be like children. Get over with it. The fight's over, and kiss and make up, or hug and make up, or do a handshake. If not, go your separate ways. I really don't see this. It's so pointless. I mean,
and this actually seems to be intensifying, because Kangana Ranaut's legal team want Hrithik Roshan to be arrested. And if I could quote, sir, from your legal notice, you are demanding Hrithik Roshan's arrest for a cognizable offence under section 149 and 150 of the CRPC, as you allege. But under what sections of the IPC? What's the charge?
Okay, let me put it straight. Section 149 and 150 is to prevent cognizable offences, and 151 is to do with arrest in case if they find him to be guilty. Okay, you can look at it that I have not filed a FIR as of now, and therefore the sections of IPC have not been quoted. My rights to file a FIR under the the right sections of IPC are still withheld. We have not gone ahead with that. These are just preventive actions of the police. These are not what you regularly see, in the cases of FIR.
Okay, because Reena, Kangana Ranaut is alleging that they were in a relationship. Hrithik Roshan is saying we were never in a relationship. Both sides are fighting this legally. Has something like this ever happened in Bollywood before? A relationship battle like this being fought ahead in a court of law or with the police?
well, it's obviously a sign of times where the women are not going to take anything lying down, and they do at the moment have an advantage. All of us do, if we choose to take that way of the law. I don't know the reality of their situation. I have no clue what really happened. All I know is, to an outsider like me, they really sound like spoiled children, and they need to calm this down and just get over with it and stop the fight. It is so baseless. It's not like anybody's injured anyone or done anything grievous or harmful. I mean, there's so many greater causes in this country to look into,
yes,
or to help people out.
Yes.
I think this whole game of anger, rage, yes, complaint,
yes,
and distaste is very distasteful.
You know, and she's just said that slut shaming me will not work, blackmail and threatening me will not affect me. You won't get away by threatening me or circulating my love poems, letters or images. I'm not ashamed of anything. That is what, you know, Kangana Ranaut is writing. I'm not ashamed of my past, not my body, not my affairs, and most definitely not my desire. Now, Hrithik says, I haven't even had an affair with you. Where does this come in, sir?
See, I just would like to give out the facts of the case. I agree with Ms. Reena, what she was saying right now. As a matter of fact, I have been, even in my courts, right from 15th March onwards, I have been saying that they should not be taken to that extent and they should just finish it off. The notice that Hrithik has sent should be withdrawn. That is what I have been always stating. I have also been saying that we are not going aggressive, we are only defending. And you can see that in our actions. Okay, let me just put things straight. Hrithik had sent a notice to my client saying that the silly ex that she had referred to is nobody else but Mr. Hrithik Roshan. Now, when you send a defamation notice, you have to bring out the case. You know, you have to bring out a case against my client as to how the defamation happened. He also denied not knowing my client socially. He said that he does not know my client socially at all. So we replied to that. We said that yes, of course you know him, so know her socially. You have been attending her birthday parties. She attended your birthday party, your family's birthday party. And there were a whole lot of other lies, blatant lies, which were there in that particular notice, which we openly not only replied to those in detail, but we also proved, we substantially proved that whatever you're saying is a big lie. Hrithik Roshan claims that he received more than 1400 emails on his correct email ID. Now, any sane man, any sane married man would not receive any emails from a third party without knowing the consequences of that, and would not store and save them for later use, what Mr. Hrithik Roshan is doing now. Now, he did not have any business threatening my client because there is no provision of law which allows him to do that. Now, in his notice, Mr. Hrithik Roshan says that he would be taking these photographs and putting it before some forum. Now, which forum? I don't understand. I fail to understand under which provision of law does he even have the right to take these photographs before any forum? And in the first place, why did you receive those photographs? If there was nothing between him and my client, why did he have to deny? Why did he have to, you know, receive photographs and save them? This is something, this is a big question. That is what I had asked him.
You know,
he has not responded to my reply.
We wanted Hrithik Roshan and his side to be represented on the show. We attempted to speak to both Hrithik Roshan himself and to his legal team. They chose not to be on the show. But Hrithik Roshan has been saying all along, Rizwan, that there was an imposter. She was in touch with an imposter, and she perhaps is saying something which is very different.
Okay, I'll clarify this.
Yes.
I'll clarify this. In his own notice, Hrithik Roshan claims that he gained knowledge of an imposter in the month of May 2014. Now, since May 2014 till December 2014, Mr. Hrithik Roshan did not bother to go ahead with any complaint of any sort. He made just an informal complaint to the police station without bothering to even get into the inquiry of that particular complaint. Okay, now let me just put things straight. Between May and December, Hrithik Roshan received, or even after December, he received more than 1400 emails. That is what his statement is. This imposter, this so-called imposter that we are all concentrating on in the last 4-5 days, is of no consequence to my client's case. The imposter, whatever happened between the imposter and my client, even if it is to believe that there's an imposter, is of no consequence to the battle between my client and Hrithik. Because Hrithik Roshan's claim is that my client should apologize, publicly apologize. If my client is to publicly apologize, that means it is a public battle. And Mr. Hrithik Roshan then claims that how did this matter become public? I'm surprised that you send a notice, you don't want to withdraw your notice, you want to ask a public apology, and you don't want the matter to be public. How? I mean, I fail to understand what does he want really.
In fact, Reena, most people would fail to understand what this fight is all about. As you said, even if two people came together or they didn't come together, it's only between those two people. What does this indicate, Reena?
Yeah. I just think they sound, if I may say so, like people who have both sound like people with opinions and egos who are just trying to teach each other a lesson. But it's so silly, frankly. I mean, and it's wasting, because, you know, movie stars get a lot of media attention. We do know that the tabloids use the front pages daily as the cover stories for movie stars, and it's more like a cinema playing out in a kind of a real life theater. It is funny from our perspective. It's truly not at all humane. It's not nice. It's nothing great. I mean, I really think if you're the counsel to both of them, bury this. It's big shit. I mean, it happens. People fight. And you move on. Everybody goes through this.
As a matter of fact.
So what if one is Hrithik and one is Kangana? They're humans.
Yeah. Okay. You were saying as a matter of fact, Rizwan, last word to you.
As a matter of fact, you know, I have been personally, you know, trying to get in touch with people from the fraternity because I represent a lot of them. I know a lot of them personally. I wanted them to intervene because Hrithik Roshan will always look at me as the lawyer for Kangana Ranaut, and he was definitely not going to listen to me. So I was requesting people to come in, intervene, and to get this sorted. Right from 15th March, despite the fact that Hrithik failed to respond to my, you know, counter notice, I did not bother. As a matter of fact, even on 15th March when I was interviewed, I said no comments. I don't want to deny, I do not want to admit. That means we did not want to get into this. We did not want to fight. We did not want to, as a matter of, even till now, we have not been aggressive. We have not been aggressive. Even despite the fact that my client has all rights to file a FIR, we have not filed a FIR considering that he has 2 small children. We have only taken preventive action course that is under section 149.
As Reena Dhaka has rightly pointed out, it's time to move on. Perhaps either kiss and make up, hug and make up, or just shake hands and move on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Reena Dhaka and Rizwan Siddiqui, many thanks for joining me. The 4,000 crore rupee olive branch offered by liquor baron Vijay Mallya has been rejected by banks. A consortium of 17 banks headed by the State Bank of India rejected Vijay Mallya's repayment plan in the Supreme Court today, making it very clear that the high-flying tycoon must be present in India first for bona fide negotiations to take place. India Today's Anusha Soni brings us this report.
The king of good times is drowning in a whopping 9,000 crore rupee debt. The swashbuckling businessman had offered to pay back 4,000 crores of that loan, but today a consortium of banks rejected the bargain.
The consortium of banks today rejected the proposal submitted by the Vijay Mallya also to the top court of the country. The consortium of the banks said that not only the proposal submitted by Mallya has a lot of absurdity, the fact that it's based upon many contingent situations.
There was more trouble for the tycoon as the government stood firmly behind the banks.
The banks are following due process of law. They are ensuring that we pursue every avenue possible for bringing all willful defaulters to the negotiating table.
The bank's consortium told the Supreme Court that Mallya must show up to negotiate the terms of his debt repayment. They also claimed that while the banks are open to negotiations, Mallya must declare his assets. Even the apex court minced no words in its rap to Vijay Mallya, asking the businessman just how much he can deposit in the bank. Mallya had left India for the UK in March and has been attempting to broker a deal with 17 banks since. As trouble mounts for Mallya, the king of good times appears to have little option but to return. Will he heed to the banks and the top court? With Anusha Soni in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
There is some relief for the Indian Premier League Season 9. The Bombay High Court has permitted the opening game in Mumbai to go on as scheduled. In its order, the court said the first IPL match can go on the 9th, but an inquiry on the tanker lobby has to be submitted on the 12th of April, after which the final decision will be taken on other matches. The court said this is a larger issue and not just about the Indian Premier League, but it's the state government's responsibility to manage water better. The court also asked if it's really necessary to maintain gardens and pitches while cattle and people are dying. The petitioner also argued that Mumbai will become dry in 6 to 8 weeks, while monsoon is still 12 weeks away. The petitioner added people in the state are not getting water even for sanitation, which is creating a new law and order situation. The state government has defended hosting these matches, saying the percentage of water going into stadia like the Wankhede is minimal. It's water unfit for drinking that is being used. The state's acting Advocate General Rohit Dev has been asked to conduct an inquiry into the state tanker lobby and submit a report before the next IPL match in Mumbai. Pakistan's High Commissioner to India, Abdul Basit, today came out with a series of extremely provocative statements. He virtually turned down a reciprocal visit by India's National Investigation Agency to Pakistan to investigate the Pathankot terror attacks and question the Jaish-e-Mohammed founder Maulana Masood Azhar in connection with the Pathankot terror strike. Abdul Basit also raked up the Kashmir bogey and said peace process between India and Pakistan has been suspended. The dialogue process, he claimed. The Pakistan High Commissioner was speaking at a function in Delhi. He told journalists that the arrest of the alleged Indian spy in Pakistan corroborates Pakistan's charges against India. He was, however, evasive about granting India consular access to Kulbhushan Yadav, who was, it seems, kidnapped by pro-Pakistan, pro-Taliban terrorists in Iran and then sold to the ISI in Pakistan.
All right, we're getting news that after getting DNA samples, or rather giving the DNA samples of the 4 Pakistani terrorists killed in the Pathankot airbase attack, India is now contemplating disposing of the dead bodies lying.
There's the hair. But then I decided to use the public transport. And now I feel I look like Natha. But don't you worry, the show looks fantastic.